Hey, testing. I think we are alive. Let's do some Death Trap PTR stuff. Let's find the desert map and try to see how quick we can do tier 100. Maybe if I get that map, I'll try it. Okay. One second. Ah. Okay. I figured out why my stream alerts weren't functioning properly. Well, we are very strong, but this map is not ideal. There's a little too much travel time. Want something a little more open. Want to be able to comfortably pull maybe 3 elite packs at a time. That's the dream anyway. Hey, Brandon. You'll be back in 30. Have my last class today. Nice. I'll be around. We just got a good map with a good mob type, so that's nice. Now the thing that can happen here is that I might die. Hope we get a decent boss if we get there. Maybe I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Can still very likely die to elemental damage. We have no resistance and we're using the new seasonal gem that increases the amount of damage we take, so we are pretty squishy. Yeah, I'll show the items and everything, the entire build after this run if I... It seems like I'm gonna hit a really insane time for being the PTR. Hey Ava, look at this, look at the timer. I know. DT is pretty strong. I heard they nerfed it. I hope I'm super squishy, so I'm kind of nervous to die to the boss, but we'll see. Okay, well that's one way to lose some time, but I mean that's a good. Let's say it didn't die there, we would be at the boss in like 5-6 minutes. So, and now let's calculate how long the boss would have taken. We could get like an optimal time. And then I'm thinking, instead of pushing like 103 or whatever this can do, Mippy and Sanctum, I was in their stream and he was pushing, I don't know if they finished 95, but someone in chat said they did, so I put it as a ceiling. But it was like, I'm pretty sure they used most of your cooking with I think they used the PT gloves. Like it was the setup that you shared with them. Hey PPBiz, what is going on? Shame we died, because we would have had a as fast of a tier 100 I think anyone could have in season 9 as a rogue. It's still pretty fast. I mean, yeah, between 5 and 6 minutes to spawn the boss. Slither is... Isn't that Slither one of the tankiest bosses? I might die to these, like, the triple shadow thing that spins around me. Yeah, very tanky boss. I think a Spirit Caller would almost be half health. Maybe not half, but 25% less. Do I die to this? I almost died to it. We'll see if I get hit by a Lilith or something. I'll do my best to avoid it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I would die to anything Lilith does. Expecting... oh, random elites. Okay, let's see, what is Lilith gonna do here? Is it just a big slam? Yeah, looks like it. That's like what the best Lilith you can get. It's so fast, it doesn't really slow you down too bad. These poison pools that I can barely see actually hurt a lot. Yeah, this setup that I'm running here in this is as much DPS as I could squeeze out, and at the cost of resistance, or lack of. But pretty fast. tier 100 with a death, so let's... You can probably give myself back a minute. I don't even know what the time of that was. I see my 4:30-ish, so like 5:30. 5:30 left, so it's basically sub 10 minute tier 100. It kind of adds up. So that means around tier 103 would be the ceiling for this version. Oh yeah, so the build and gear is this. We have Dark Shroud Tempers with the Cax runeword. We got perfect Beast Faults. We have Tybalts with, they're lacking a bit of DR, which would have helped me survive. And so that's a bummer. But the masterworking is good. Missing 1% on the thing. We don't have perfect masterworking or perfect gloves, so here's like 5, maybe more than 5% damage potential. Perfect Scoundrels leathers, really good air perdition. Our amulet is from day 1. It's a little worse. It's missing like 10% dex and 1 rank. Or 2 ranks. 1 or 2 ranks. So this could be another 10-20% damage maybe, if it's perfect. Although it's not very easy to get perfect gear in seasonal, so not something to expect. 4 GA Starless, so our gear is really good. All these aspects are obviously perfect because it's PTR as well, which can be hard to get on seasonal as well. So we're definitely at the ceiling for this build. Masterworking on the weapons aren't perfect, but pretty darn good. Other than that, yeah, our resistances are at 30. I didn't really cover the gems or the jewels, but this one feels essential to a lot of builds because we just need damage for rogue to help us do anything. But it also makes us very squishy with a lot of setups if you want to do pushing. Second jewel is the attack speed one, which makes it's for cap 1. So in the season 8, a lot of the death trap you need attack speed on gear. Right now I have attack speed on my gloves, but it might not even be worth it. I could run life instead of attack speed here. I think it helps me hit 1 more breakpoint, barely. Yeah. That's pretty much the setup. And rune words, I'm using the overpower, even though overpower is really nerfed. It's probably the most damage we can get. And then instead of using Thol, obviously using Sand Rune, but then using the Frigid Heart kind of makes up for the loss in freeze from Thol, because we're getting it from Frigid Heart. We're executing non-boss enemies, similar to last season. And this is a huge one for Death Trap, the removal of the DR auras. Because usually within this effect, we can kill the DR monster anyway. And so it's way less of a problem in pushing than it used to be. It was a nightmare in season 8, but now with this, I really hope in forever in the game there is some kind of feature, or they just remove the damage reduction aura, but the fact that there is a way to remove it is very welcome. Skill tree is pretty standard. I'm doing this for the VOD if someone wants to recreate the build or whatever. You can copy that. Ambush, no witness, versatility, exploit weakness, canny, headhunter in deadly ambush, and dance macabre will explosive. Obviously 300 paragon helps as well. Okay, I think that run kind of proved to me I'm not gonna get better mobs or map than that. So I think that's pretty much it for my end game testing in the PTR. I can't think of anything else to do that isn't leveling. Gonna have a scan over the planners. I guess I haven't played an Andariel's build. I haven't played Rapid Fire. But those are supposedly pretty scuffed anyway. So maybe we just go flurry leveling from level 1 and for the rest of the stream. Because I'm really excited for leveling. Because of the buff to basic skills. I really hope I can... Thank you. Thank you for your appreciation. Okay. If I create a new character, the question is if I have like the Codex of Power. Rogue leveling. Seasonal. Change campaign state. I want to start with the campaign completed. Start in normal, maybe? Maybe we're strong enough for hard. I'm going to start with hard, because usually you want to start in normal. But I'm going to try out hard now with the little early game buff. Like the first couple levels, we should be a bit stronger. So, if I go to collections, is my Codex of Power? Yeah, okay, we have everything. So maybe we won't use the Codex then. Normally, when leveling with Rogue, you really want to imprint Arrowstorm aspects. But it's okay. Alright. Level 1, we max out Blade Shift, put a point in Fundamental, which deals double damage if we have used some other skill, which will be Flurry for this. Yeah, I'll use Fleur for this leveling. I wonder, like, in terms of seasonal, I haven't really... Let's suss out the quest line. The purple quest line. That's usually where I start every season. It's just whatever the new stuff is. Try to get a feel for it. And in step 1, we also want to open our inventory. Click wardrobe. Here's a pet. Can we apply a pet? We don't have any pets? I don't have any pets. Alright. Guess we will be alone. And sad. Oh, wait. Oh, it's a well-behaved dog. Do I have a pet now? Oh, that's so funny, the timing. Wait, I still don't... So wait, is there even a seasonal... Oh, I don't have a seasonal questline. I did want to reveal that later. Alright, so I guess we're leveling in Helltide then. Hopefully the Helltide doesn't end. Oh, the Helltide ends in 5 minutes. Which is not ideal. I have actually, usually my plan for Season 9 at least, for starting, is to get the aspects first. Like to do the Codex of Power dungeons. For like arrow storms or whatnot. Oh, I had the wrong buttons, but it's okay. Okay, well that went smooth. So I do like 20 something damage with Flurry. And I stab for 15 with Blade Shift. It's not bad. I really gotta change my key binds for this. Hopefully they don't kill me. Actually, they will kill me. Okay, we're good, we're good. controls. We're gonna combine these two. Force move. Nice. Sweet. A rune really early is always fun. I can get earthquakes if I get a... I first need a generator rune. So we next time we level, we can get Shadow Imbue, which will probably always be the go-to for rogue leveling, because it's the first quickest way to get some AoE damage, and it also helps with generating energy. So obviously a big boss like this is not what we want to be fighting at level 5, and we're in hard. Long story short, in terms of difficulty, I would definitely, based on just like 5 minutes of this, definitely you want to go normal. It's way more important to have kill speed than it is to, yeah, get the extra 75% experience and gold or whatever you get for increasing the difficulty. I can't even kill this boss. So these sort of things is like the last thing you want to do when leveling. It's like spend a minute on a boss or even more. The goal is just like how many monsters per hour can you kill? It's really the only thing to focus on. Now we have Shadow Imbuement. It's not great immediately, but definitely will come in handy, like here. Boom, we just blow up an entire screen. No problem. We were not able to do that before. Is this a siphoning thing? I don't know if this is a good idea. We have nothing to generate life outside of potions. But there is a lot of monsters that come from this. And obviously in Helltide specifically, which we're in, we lose our... It's quite important to get the Ether... What is it called, Ether here? Aberrant Cinders. Because the chests are... They give a lot of experience. Open the map, go to a chest. Usually like to just slap my GPS on a chest so I know kind of the direction I should be farming in. But hopefully, I don't know what the seasonal thing will be, but maybe is there a new area to farm for it? Maybe they will get us in the dungeons somehow. A greed shrine. Too bad we have 45 billion gold. So now Helltide disappeared, and I think it's a 5-minute downtime still. Downtime. I'm pretty underwhelmed with the impact of my basic skill. Like, Flurry is definitely doing like double or triple my basic skill, so it's not that impactful. Even though it's like more than doubled. Or around double damage on the basic skills. I'm trying to think what other content. I mean, the two options for me at this level is Helltide or doing the dungeons that give us the power we need. And I don't, yeah, like there's no power I don't have. So it would just be kind of like a, for the sake of it. This thing is back. Is that even, is that like a placeholder thing still? I thought they removed it. It's like a weird purple thing on the map that has nothing in person. Yeah. Or is it the Raven? Or if I think it was something else. Maybe it is a seasonal thing that they're holding, keeping away from us. So I'd say other than doing a dungeon, it would also be to unlock. There's one of the strongholds that have a really good, or yeah, like a good aspect beneath it. So that could be another way to spend the first few minutes. I'm gonna change to normal first though. Hard is just not worth it unless you get some, like, I'd say the point where I would aim to switch difficulty is when I get some upgrade, like an item usually at this point in the game. There's no skill that all of a sudden makes me that powerful, but is it possible at level like this level to hire a mercenary? For you, found new content turning my slow and powerful necro for fast and powerful org. Thanks for the help with the videos. You are welcome. Thank you for watching them. I appreciate it a lot.
What is this?
I guess it would be worth to hire Rahir early on. Like you activate your pet, you hire Rahir, and then oh, he's already level 10? He's level 9. Interesting. Alright, I'm just gonna go do a dungeon I feel like I haven't done. In this new area, I feel like I barely spent any time in the Nahantu. The jungle. There's a lot of dungeons I've never even clicked on. I'll just go to a random one. I usually like to stop. Oh wow, okay. The difference in normal and hard is so significant. All of a sudden my basic attack is one-shotting things. I did like 70% of an elite's health with one blade shift. So normal it is. And usually any white items I just throw out, and then as soon as my inventory gets full of blue and yellow, I'll go to town. Hey, blue helm. And then with flurry, we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of the mobility that it provides. So having energy when enemies are at a distance, so we can shorten the gap. We are super slow. it's probably going to be worth picking up Dark Shroud just for the movement speed. That'll be one of the next things we get. First, we're going to get we're probably going to get the Shadow Imbuement restores energy first, and then... Oh, that's a cool elite. What is that? I don't think I've seen that monster type before. Now we get this Consuming Shadows. And we can kind of spam Flurry a lot more. Welcome back, Brandon. We're doing leveling now. Oh, a yellow dagger. It's usually a pretty big deal. It will help us out a lot. It's kind of fun being in a new dungeon, or like I recognize nothing about this place, and even the monster type. Usually click sort because it sorts it by item power during leveling, so anything to the right is usually... These are really annoying, they throw a little rope and hold me down. What's up with that? T's got a 3GA legendary with Dex, max life and power. How much would you say it's worth? The thing with worth is it changes from day to day, and I haven't played Season 8 in 2-3 weeks. So the quickest way to check is, I'd say it's a nice skill to have for anyone playing softcore trade, to learn to use Diablo.trade for price checking. You search the exact item you have, sword, with the 3 stats, and then you click either like current listings and get a sense of the page, or you go to sold listings. Because, yeah, even if you ask someone, they might have last week's price, but maybe that's not actually up to date. And pricing always comes down to finding the right buyer. Hey man, great guide. First time ever playing Rogue and first day at it. Cleared 100 and you're cleared 108 on your first day. But yeah, well done, and thank you for watching the guides and the videos. It wouldn't be much use if I made them and no one watched them, so very much appreciate it. So now we're back in Helltide, where we belong. Good thing about Helltide is the monsters, I'm pretty sure, are still higher level than we are compared to most other content. But yeah, hard was actually hard. Normal is actually easy. So, who would have thought? It adds up. Struggling with the pattern. I get that. There are versions that don't require you to do certain cycles of, like, using concealment, for example. If you can remove concealment, or remove Dance Macabre board, run exploit weakness or cheap shot instead, the build can become super easy to play. Death Trap, that is. You're not going to be able to push quite as high, but you're still going to be able to do like tier 100, no problem. Trading damage for a lot of convenience and ease of play can be worthwhile. Doing these orange events, I feel like it is super value early because of obols. You get obols and you can gamble, and usually I think it's like 20% chance you get a legendary when you gamble. And any aspect we can get early on can make a huge difference. Certain aspects, it feels like you double your damage. And legendary items have more affixes as well, so even if it's like a bad aspect, chances are it's going to be useful. What's your new exposure guide? It has sword instead of dagger. Yeah, the only reason we need daggers is because daggers inherently have close damage. which buffs close quarters combat. So if you're playing anything but close quarters for Death Trap, it's more potentially benefiting to use swords, but it doesn't really matter. When it comes to weapons for Rogue, it's like it's always just like a min-max thing. You can use a bow or crossbow, dagger or sword with any build, and it's fine. Alright, so what do we get for one clear here? 30 obols. 30 obols is almost nothing. So 2 events is like 1 item. It's pretty bad reward, but if you do a whole Helltide, you can probably gamble 1 legendary item. I'm curious to try opening a chest here. Rings are always huge early on. Get a bunch of resistance and usually some good stats. Part of me is like, I'm actually debating a few things. What if I run this flurry power? Can I spam it a bit better? I mean, not really. But it doesn't cost much. Like now my flurry costs 14 instead of 25. Master, just saw your CQC Death Trap. Awesome. Awesome build. Going to convert my momentum build. I do have air mystic. Oh, nice. My build is capping out at 89 with glyphs 84. Yeah, close quarters combat is definitely more damage. But not too much more. It's like 3-4 pit tiers maybe. So when it comes to Death Trap, it's always going to be less about the build variant and version and more about the gear and the levels of everything and how optimized all the aspects are and stuff like that. Okay, now I can open my chest. So what if I barely level up to 11? And now we open a chest and we'll get a very good idea of how much experience. Like, is it... I need to kill some of these guys. Nice, we're here pushing people away. It was actually useful there. So it's like 2 bars. One chest is like 2 bars, so... And at level 11, we didn't get any legendary from our first chest, but I'm pretty sure that the drop chance is pretty high still for each chest. Probably over level like 20 plus. There's some point where these chests in Helltide are like actually guaranteed. We'll do another event, and then I'm gonna try gamble an item in town, see what happens.
The smoke from stoking the fire will attract all men.
What is this? I've never seen this event. Oh, is it? It's Subo's event. Slay the killer, Subo calls out, right. It's like a mercenary specific event. On dagger, should you go with greater affix, critical strike damage, or greater axe or overpower damage? I'm a crit fan because it applies to every attack, but it ultimately doesn't matter. In Season 8, depending on the variant, if you're overpowering a lot, then the overpower is probably the actual best. Do I think 111 is the cap? No. People, I think South Korea or China, there's quite a few people who have cleared 112. But it's way less about the build and more about fishing. You need the right map, with the right mobs, with the right boss. Stars. Oh, so I just got a helm with 2 energy per second. I wonder how easy it will be for us to sustain flurry now. Or if if we'll actually notice a difference. We can open another chest. Two energy per second is like doubling our energy generation, so it's a pretty big deal. Brandon asked, "What are my complaints?" You've never heard me complain about anything in the game. I don't know if you guys know who Asmongold is, but he reacted to my video back in season 0 of this game of 10 complaints I had about the game. So I have some complaints out there, but yeah, you're right. I don't often complain. So it's a good question. I'll have to think about it as I answer Master Jedi's question about, do I like Starless with the CQC build? I mean, I'd say so. Anything that gives more damage, I enjoy, and then I enjoy the process of trying to figure out ways to make it work. Because the more mythics you use, the less tempers and usually defenses you lose. So, and even cooldown. So if you can solve all of those things, all the breakpoints, then I always go for more damage. So which mobs and maps suggest for fishing? Season 7 and up top 20 with Necro, nice. What about wolves and red open map? Yeah, it's very similar for Death Trap. So for Death Trap pushing, you want the desert, the kind of orange looking desert map, and as many melee mobs as possible. Like vampires and snakes, when they go unstoppable, the elites, they kind of run away from you. But you want things that chase you, like wolves and bandits and the drowned zombies. They, even if they're unstoppable, they go to you, so you don't miss out on DPS. Those are probably the mobs that you want. And boss, you just want Spirit Caller, pretty much. For no other reason than I'm pretty sure it's the boss with the least life. Because for some reason, the bosses have different life. Okay, so what do I... What complaints do I have about Diablo 4? I mean... The no-brainers are masterworking. And the occultist, so when you're re-rolling stats. It's like, why are you forcing me to sit at this vendor for 10 minutes just spamming my button to try to get the stat that I want? It feels pretty bad. And then I don't like that, like, for some reason, like mythics and even uniques, like we have to get it through bossing. I think it's fine that you can get it through bossing, but I want to be able to play Helltide, and after like 25 hours, I probably will find a mythic item. Like in the helm chests in Helltide, like why can't I find my Harlequin Crest Shaco helm in there at like a 1% rate? Like, we're gonna get the mythics anyway, but like, why are you forcing me into certain activities, especially bossing? It's like killing the same boss tens of thousands of times. It can get pretty old pretty quick. So I would definitely appreciate increased drop rates for, I mean, all uniques in normal content, but also especially mythics. And what else do I have complaints about? I mean, can you share your views on rank 1 build with step, skill, and dark shroud? I'm trying to think if I've seen what you're talking about. Is it Death Trap in Season 8? Is it like a new kind of way to do it? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm assuming it's probably pretty similar. It's like 10% comes down to the build, 10% comes down to your skill, and 80% comes down to the build you're playing. I think that's or wait, the fishing. Did I say that? 80% is fishing, 10% build, 10% skill. So no matter what the build is, it involves a lot of fishing. And someone could probably beat it with another build if they fished for longer. Yeah, right. No mobility skill, just shroud on bar. Yeah, that's what I'm using in Season 9 as well for pushing. Because it is possible to die, so Dark Shroud... Dark Shroud is very helpful for surviving, but also in Season 9, in this current build, we get a lot of offensive benefit from using Dark Shroud because we can temper damage per Dark Shroud shadow. So I'm assuming he's not doing that because... I mean, I guess he could. But in Season 8, you can just roll overpower if you want additive. No additive really matters in Season 8. Wow, killing that Hellborn was not easy. Energy on kill on a early ring is really huge as well. So now I want to find a chest. So instead of riding my horse there, I'm just gonna put my GPS there and run and kill everything on the way. Please make Flurry great. I will do my best. I think it is already, based on what we've tested with the new helm and everything, it is pretty good build. I mean, it's top 4 in terms of clear, and I don't know, maybe I'm crossing my fingers, maybe it's Copium, but maybe Blizzard will buff it. Because whenever they drop a new helm or an item, they want people to use it, and a lot of people are unhappy with how seemingly weak it is compared to what they want. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, no worries, Nathan. Nico, aloha. So best build for all. Yeah. Deathtrap is once again the strongest, but Blizzard said so many times that they don't want that to be the case. So maybe there's always a big patch after the PTR based on the feedback from players. So we'll be submitting the information, like the fact that we can beat tier 100 in less than 10 minutes still with this build, or Deathtrap. Maybe they will do something about it. But hopefully they will, instead of changing much of Deathtrap, I'm assuming they will change Ice in the Dark Pants, because it is a bit silly that in Season 9 we're not even using the unique item for a Deathtrap in a Deathtrap build. Like there are only better options. Legendary Pants are better, Tybalt's Will are better than the actual item for the build, so that's a bit strange. So I'm assuming they will change that. And assuming that's a buff, then maybe Deathtrap will be even better than what we're looking at right now. So then what it comes down to is the other builds being brought up. And a big way for them to do that is the key passives, I think, or just a baseline of a lot of the core skills. If we or the aspects, there's so many ways for them to even out the balance, and I have a feeling they will. Yeah, I am completely with you there, Akash. I always want to play a new build, ideally, between seasons. That's usually what gets me excited. Like, I usually get burnt out after, like, 2 weeks of playing a season, and then I stop for 3 months, and I come back to the next season, and I get really hyped to play something completely different. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. Like, even though I think most players loved Death Trap, because it's very satisfying to play. What kind of event is this? But yeah, ideally we have something different. Usually I don't put on an ultimate this early on, because it has such a long cooldown, and to be honest, it's probably not worth to do that. But it could be worth, especially if someone's playing hard instead of normal, or you're pushing the difficulty, then I'd say it's worth putting Shadow Clone on as soon as you get it. But I thought I'd try it out now. Maybe I run into a boss or something. Maybe I fill up this meter. Like, there are certainly monsters that take a while to kill, so for those, Shadow Clone is certainly the go-to. I wonder, I'm gonna try a sneaky strategy actually. So now if I take off Shadow Clone, let's say I play with something else. If I run into an elite pack or something, I'm gonna spec into Shadow Clone and see if it's like available for me. So now level 15, immediately you can pop on combo points and oh, so now I want to try. So if I just like take a few points, click here, and then drag that on. Okay, so that seems pretty exciting. And then I guess I have a minute without Shadow Step. But then I can turn Shadow Clone off. I'm a minute without Shadow Step, but a little sneaky way to just buff my single target if I need it. Alright, sorry I missed some chats. Brandon says, Matthias, would you be in favor of being able to choose what map you get in pits? I would 100% be in favor of that. Like, I don't know how if you guys have played like Warcraft 3 or like the ladder, you can like thumbs up and thumbs down certain maps and then at least like affect the RNG. That would be nice. Or I played a lot of Halo 3 in my youth. You can veto maps. Like, it gives you a map and you're like, no, I don't want that, and you get a random other one or something. Or if you can like actually like pick 3 maps, pick 3 mob types, and it randomizes between that, or yeah, whatever system they choose, that I would prefer that. For the pit's current state, I mean, ideally the game would be in a place where it wouldn't matter as much. But right now it's like, how is it balanced where different bosses have different HP pools? That seems a bit crazy. And certain monsters have barriers that you can't damage. You really like the yeah, when it you did 108, you hold DT and concealment down, didn't bash spam concealment like you say. Should I bash it or hold it down the same? I think if you're using concealment, the go-to strategy is just to hold down one of the buttons. Like you hold down DT and spam concealment, for example. Would be my suggested solution to that. Or you can use unethical solutions. Boots with movement speed are really, really huge. It used to be not as important, like earlier in Diablo 4's lifespan, because movement speed, like the affix roll like 2%. But now, even from like level 1, it's like 10% plus. So that is very nice. And I'm playing flurry and melee builds only, so even though the damage is increased on this bow, it's actually giving me energy on kill, which I just saw, which is worth. But 17 dex I'm giving up, which is gonna be sad for my damage. Yeah, but energy on kill is very valuable. Okay, so here I'm gonna try my little strategy. I remove dash, put on shadow clone. I mean, obviously I don't need it, but I just want to try the tech. It's a bit sneaky. I'm kind of getting random, like, frame drops, which I've almost never ever had in Diablo. I wonder why that is, if it's a PTR thing, or my computer's having a stroke. So for this siphoning thing, I'm gonna need to heal. Wait. Oh. I need to take a point from somewhere else. Oh, this is tricky. Okay, there you go. I can't do it. I'm gonna die if I stop hitting. Oh no. I wanted to swap the flurry, but I was locked out because I had an ultimate spect and I didn't have enough points. But yeah, for the siphoning, you want this flurry power for sure. And some siphoning strikes, and then you can tank the whole thing. Ah, we don't need the clone. But it's good to know that that tech works. It's very ethical to hold both down, yeah. If that works well, then go for it. What would you recommend to get multiple GA T-bolts on PTR? There's two options. You either fill up your inventory with generic unique caches and drop the other caches. Just spam uniques, and then you open up them all across Kyovashad. Like you run as you drop an item, kind of, or like open a, like kind of like this, as you open the caches in a whilst moving, and then you can once you open up like 20 caches, you can run past over the piles of gear and see if there are any GA pants. Okay, now we can try, maybe. All right. Vinny, that is probably my season 8 planner. So it's probably not what you're looking for. Brandon, have I ever bought cosmetics or the battle pass? The only things I bought is when the game came out or whatever, it was like a little dog backpack. And I bought that. And I bought like the early access or whatever. I mean, didn't we get like the Diablo 4 beta? Or no, we even could play the game 4 days early or something. Whatever it was from launch, I bought that. But since launch, I've never paid money in Diablo 4 other than the expansion. Like I'm not done any microtransactions or anything. That's why my characters always look like this. Except, of course, my infamous transmog. So from leveling 1 to 16, one thing I'm not entirely convinced of is the 4 points in the basic skill to make it deal 1 more damage. Not convinced. I think the go-to play is to max out Flurry because it's just way more of our damage. So using those 4 points into something like Weapon Mastery and what else even? I mean, even like these passives. I should probably put Innervation now that I think about it. Before... I guess maybe Weapon Master is probably worth it because we are combo pointing for now. You wish that Puncture and Daryl would come back again? Yeah, I mean, they would have to increase the damage by quite a lot because the internal cooldown prevents us from proccing much poison at all. It's interesting because I can spam Flurry and it feels like no problem. So I think for leveling, it's just like get Inner Sight as quickly as possible and then swap to Preparation as quickly as possible. I mean, right now I have energy on kill and energy per second. But I can fully sustain. I'm not even using... I could max Innervation and I could also... Yeah, I could put more points in the Shadow Imbue. Energy Regen. I could also use even Concealment. Maybe Concealment's worth it, actually. Do I even need Shadow Imbue? Maybe Shadow Step is a bit of... So, for leveling, this Concealment is really worth it. Because let's say I finish off these monsters. And now there's no monsters nearby, so now I want to run somewhere. And I click Concealment and I get 60% movement speed for the duration of the invisibility, but also... What is it? 5 seconds afterwards as well. And the Unstoppable is nice too. So yeah, like right now I'm unstoppable for 5 seconds. It's really nice. And it gives 40 energy. I'm pretty sure. I didn't see it there. Yeah, you gain 40 energy when you enter Concealment. So it's actually really good for leveling. I think I'm going to make it a staple for my future leveling builds. Especially for something like Flurry, where it's one of the easier core skills to just spam with, because it becomes so cheap to cast. And then with Concealment just enables that even easier. But yeah, I'm not a basic skill believer. That's kind of what I was most excited to try in this leveling, but I guess maybe Heartseeker and like pure Heartseeker, and you go get like rapid for attack speed and stuff. Maybe it could be worthwhile. Yellow pants. Getting more and more yellows, so I can smell the legendary in the air. I've only found one rune. I'd say it's really worth to get an early rune word if possible. So if you get like a tribute for the Undercity, I would do that immediately, I think. Yeah, it's really nice to have the movement speed. I am definitely... If there's commissions for concealment, I would be a concealment salesman. That would be my profession of choice. One of my favorite skills. I don't love spamming it for DT, but just in general. It's such a feels... It gives so many things that we normally lack. One thing that I'm not convinced that Shadow Imbuement's worth it for a build like this in early leveling, because we have such a long downtime. Like, as soon as we get a temper for Shadow Imbuement charges, I think it might be worth it to increase that AoE, but at this point, I wonder if not another skill might do us a little more, like Shadow Step or Shadow Clone. Are there any builds that make use of the damage after stealth? Yeah, the Shadow Step build in Season 8 is entirely built around that temper and that affix. The only downside is that they completely nerfed it for Season 9 for some reason, because it's kind of bugged of an affix. Like, for example, some people think that temper would be really good for Death Trap because we go invisible and then we throw Death Trap. But Death Trap is like, I don't know, 5+ damage instances. Like, there's all these knives that slice, and that affix only applies to the first slice, for example. So that's why it works for Shadow Step, because it's just one stab, and it works for that one stab. So that's one reason that affix is never used. But now in Season 9, like, they lowered that number by... I think they, like, cut it... Maybe it's, like... It's worse than half of the damage, I think. It used to be, like, 300, and now it's, like, 120 or something. So... Unfortunately, I don't see why we would use... Like, the highest additive we can get is still from Dark Shroud Shadows. So I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to be using. So I'm curious to swap out my... Now I only have 2 energy per second as my energy resource here, regen. Because I am barely ever using my blade shift. I'm going to try to remove it. Okay, so I can definitely not sustain it. Against a lot of quantity of mobs, I could sustain it with the 2 energy on kill. But yeah, I would definitely prioritize these affixes early on. It just allows for so much speed. Because basic skills, if you have to use them, they slow us down. That's for sure. It is probably worth using basic skill until level 20. when we have inner sight. Ava says, at least it's not a bug since it's consistent with their overall terminology. It is true. I wonder if they are truly bringing mouse keyboard support to consoles. That's interesting. I didn't hear about that. Yeah, it is true. It's like, it actually makes sense that it works the way it works. Which is a rare thing in this video game. It's kind of like half of the puzzle of this game is figuring out the lies in the tooltips. It's like a puzzle in itself. It's on the season 9 notes. That's cool. I've been a console gamer my entire life. I've been a hybrid, but certainly played a lot of Xbox because of Halo. Gotta go open some chests if there are any. Think I'm gonna ride my horse a little bit. Here's an elite. Why is he running? Where are you running? Why? Why and where? Like, I feel like spoiled in terms of energy in this. I don't understand. Like, this is like one button gaming, which is usually not the case in leveling for me, historically speaking. I think it's just because I got those two rolls, and then that's all you need. 2 energy per second. And I guess I have 3 energy per kill. That's why. It shouldn't be that hard to get though. Like, I've dropped a lot of gear. There's probably even more of those stats around. I think I'm gonna play until my first legendary item, and then might take a break, go do something else with my evening. But it was a successful death, somewhat successful. We died in the pit with our DT 100, but we could do it in about 10 minutes. Which means, or even less than that probably, in a perfect run. 104 might be possible with DT, with a month's worth of pushing. But I don't see. I don't know how. But maybe someone will find a motivation to do that after already pushing in season 9, or season 8. But I will not be pushing in season 9 with Death Trap. Not again. You saw your Dota video with the godlike luck you had proccing the bashes. Yeah, I know. I screamed out loud. I mean, there's a lot of highlights like that in Dota. I just haven't had a YouTube channel over the last 2 decades. I haven't really thought about uploading anything. But when that happened the other day, a few months back, I was like, I should just... I had it unlisted on my channel. I was like, I'm going to make it public. Maybe someone will find this amusing. I love RNG in games. That's what creates the excitement. Now the challenge is for the developers to find the fine line where it goes from impossible, like for example the mythic drop rates when Diablo 4 launched, there was like one mythic in the first 6 months of the game. Like what was that? Why were they... There's basically like the items weren't even in the game, so that's bad RNG. Okay, so I'm trying to think if this is like my setup for Season 9. You get energy from Shadow Imbue, you get energy from Concealment and Movement Speed. Movement Speed from Dark Shroud, and a little bit of survivability. Like, we're pretty fast at running if we're in a dungeon or something with this. One thing I just noticed, I don't think the movement speed... It says with the concealment modifier that it increases my movement speed and gives all of its other bonuses. All of its other bonuses? So I don't keep the dodge chance and movement speed bonus. Because, yeah, basically, if you look at how fast I'm running when I'm invisible, it's gonna... As soon as the concealment goes off, I slow down. Yeah, I definitely lose my movement speed. So I thought the movement speed was kept for the 5 seconds. Maybe it keeps 30. I guess I could look at the number. Just out of pure curiosity at this point. Movement speed is 196 with invisibility, and it goes... Yeah. Right, so whilst I'm invisible, I get 60% movement speed, but as soon as I lose it, I lose the movement speed. Maybe concealment's not worth it, because its main utility... if running a lot of dungeons is probably worth it. Because you can't use a horse inside dungeons, or the mount. Otherwise, I'd probably use poison imbue or something, because it gives energy as well. So maybe double imbuement with dash for like hell type of content. Because you use a horse anyway, we don't need movement speed. Stop by. Milkia is asking, doesn't I still best leveling build? I'd say it's 100% the best leveling build for Rogue still, yeah. I will level Rogue in season... No, I have to level Rogue. I will level with Flurry in season 9, but... Or maybe a pen shot. I think it depends on what aspects drop. But yeah. Then so now has not been nerfed or anything. I'd say anything with momentum feels really good to level with. In my opinion. Just the movement speed and the energy regen you get from it. It's just very casual friendly. Even though I don't consider myself a casual. During leveling, everyone's a casual. Oh, there's a treasure goblin. Can I kill a treasure goblin without problems? That's a real question. Oh! We got a legendary! Let's go! It's always so exciting in the beginning of the game, and then you lose that dopamine so quickly when they fly out of every corner. Melkia, what's looking stronger for 70, 80 speedruns? I mean, based on the current information, you can use the list above me. Death Trap, the more damage something does, the quicker you can speedrun 80s and 70s. And the list I have above me is like the top end ceiling of these builds. So if the top end, for example, Shadow Step or Heartseeker is 83, you're not going to be able to speed farm 80s. So Death Trap, Rain of Arrows, Flurry are all really fast builds that also deal a lot of damage. So I'd say those are your speed farming builds. Twisting Blades is, I mean, I haven't played it in the PTR, but it doesn't feel like the greatest speed clearer. You're lacking a bit of AoE, you're relying on pulls to get kind of monsters together. But it deals a lot of damage, so you can kind of empty the pit or whatever you're farming really, really fast just based on that. But with that said, that's the current PTR standings. I am very optimistic towards the fact that we might get some updates. If I don't speak to Blizzard, but if I did, I can't imagine them being satisfied with the rogue. Oh, okay, I need to use my hack here. So now we jump on our horse. We remove shadow imbuement or something. Whoa. And now we have shadow clone. And now I have a clone. I don't know if it's actually worth it. I mean, putting the clone on there for 10 seconds of DPS seemed like way too much effort to not really get that much out of him. Unless he's permanently on the bar, I don't see that being a strategy. But I'm glad I got to try it, because now I will avoid doing that in Season 9, even though it is technically an option. I think I'm just not going to use an ultimate until I get cooldown reduction of some sort. Oh yeah, the legendary, I forgot. Barrage. Imagine if, like, if you find a legendary like this and it's top rolled. Maybe it can't be, because it's such a low item power. But this is like low roll Barrage. But this would inspire me to want to swap to Barrage while I still have it. Because we really have no bonus to... Like, just click respec mode. And just go all in on Barrage while we have this. I would probably do that. I immediately felt very strong using that skill. Okay, that was one Helltide. Usually in leveling, when the season's fresh, I'm less worried about rushing or getting to the high level the fastest, and more focused on enjoying the journey, because I feel like I only get it once per, I do only get it once per season. Like, I only play rogue, and there's no need to level like a second rogue. So you only get the leveling experience once. So I take my time and change up my build as I find items, and I usually have a really good time at the start of seasons for that reason, I think. Just like going where the progression takes me. I think on level 20, with Inner Sight, Barrage is going to feel really nice with this aspect early on. So this is a time where I could consider going to hard as well. Like, I probably stay on normal actually, because I am pretty weak, but it would be worth a consideration because the Helltide is down anyway. There's some downtime. All right. In this case, for 14 decks, I would probably drop my energy per second and just play a combo point play style. So there's a lot of things that just kind of it all depends on what you find along the way. So this is an interesting one where my legendary crossbow has quite a lot of additive to poison. And unless I take advantage of that, a bow like this is going to be a lot more damage. Like this is like 30% dex and 10% additive. So if I was doing flurry still, I would keep this bow on for the stats. I mean, in reality, I probably wouldn't swap from flurry just because of this aspect, because it's not that significant. Like, it's good for AoE, but doesn't increase my damage that much on elites. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. I'm gonna maybe go for a run. It's a beautiful evening and my wife is away and I haven't gone outside all day, so maybe I'll do that. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'm gonna be putting out some guides for season 9. Stay tuned for those, and especially after the patch notes drop. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you around.